Today's recipe calls for sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to show you how to make chicken cutlets in a sun-dried tomato cream sauce that's just a touch spicy. It's going to be easy and it's going to be really good. So with that said, let's get started.
The first thing we need to do to make this one-pan dish of goodness is prep some veg. We'll start with one small shallot, cut the top off, which is the bald side with no hairs. Following that, cut the shallot into 2 equal sections. Peel all the paper skin off each side. While I fight with getting this stupid paper skin off, if you can't find shallots or you just simply don't want to use one, you can swap it for half a small yellow onion. It'll work just as well. Alright, now that it's taken half of the day to peel the dang thing, let's start cutting it. We need to cut this into a small dice. Cut from side to side, making small sections of shallot, cutting as close to the root as possible without cutting through it. Follow the curve of the veg to achieve the best results. Repeat this same step for both pieces. Now that you have the sections made, give it a quarter turn and repeat the same step, cutting from top towards the root in the same small section pattern. Dang, look at you just cut something into a small dice. Anyways, set that aside for now so we can move on to the next aromatic ingredient. Collect 6 medium to large garlic cloves. Cut both ends off each piece. After that, give them a light smash with your chef's knife. Doing this step will make it much easier to peel off that pesky paper skin. Now that we have naked garlic, we need to cut this stinky breath mint. Thinly slice the goods into chips. When doing this task, watch your little fingies. Repeat the same step until everything has been sliced. On to one of the main components of this recipe, which is 3.5 ounces or 100 grams sun-dried tomatoes. Toss them into a fine mesh strainer over a holding device. Lightly press them with a paper towel. We're trying to absorb and discard as much of the oil that the tomatoes came in. We want to get rid of as much of it as possible because the oil will make our cream sauce too oily in the end. We'll let it hang out in the strainer like this while we move on to the next thing. This will allow gravity to do its thing while we multitask. Let's start prepping the chicken on a clean, separate cutting board from the veg. We'll be using 2 medium to large in size chicken breasts. We need to start by cleaning up the chick, cutting off any undesirable looking pieces or any fat that may be on it. Once things have been cleaned up a bit, we need to cut them into cutlets. Place one hand atop of the chicken breast, applying light pressure, pushing it down. Now take your knife and start cutting from one end to the other, right in the middle. You'll do this by using a sawing motion as you move end to end, splitting it into 2 pieces that are hopefully close to the same size. A sharp knife will make this task really easy. Also, applying that pressure will keep the chicken in place, making it easier to cut as well. Oh yeah, keep it safe by using most of your palm, having your fingers and thumb pointed up and out of the way. Repeat the same exact step for the other piece of chicken. When you've multiplied the protein and have kept all your fingies, give your work area and hands a thorough clean down. Now that the toms have had time to drain, bring back the original veg cutting board so we can finish prepping these. Grab a couple and start to cut them from side to side into thin strips. Following that, mince the tomatoes into little chunks of goodness. Repeat this process until all of the dried out tomatoes have been minced. Now to the best part of this recipe, which is the parmesan cheese. You can buy the pre-shredded stuff, but grating it yourself is just better. Grate the cheese on the fine side of the box grater. Shoot to grate 1.5 ounces or 45 grams of parm. Actually, on second thought, do a little bit extra so you can pinch some off the top as a little snack. Alright, just a few more steps until we can start cooking. To add some flavor to the dish, we'll chiffonade 3 to 4 basil leaves. Roll the leaves into a tight cylinder, then thinly slice the green stuff into ribbons. It's best to use a sharp knife so things don't bruise and turn a dark color and turn bitter in taste as well. Now let's start bringing all these ingredients together. Snag a large sauté pan or skillet and take all the goods over to a heating source. Oh yeah, don't forget we need half a cup or 118 mils heavy cream. You'll want to measure this out early because we want and need it to be room temperature before we add it to the hot pan. Okay, now that the skillet is over the heating element, crank the heat to a medium level of hotness. Allow the pan to become ripping hot. To test if your limp skillet is hot, drop in a teeny tiny amount of H2O. If it's nice and hot, the water should immediately turn into droplets that hold shape and dance around in the pan. If it does, it means it's ready to go. Add about 2 teaspoons of a high heat oil, or enough to cover the bottom of the pan. After the cooking device has been coated in the fat, immediately add the chicken to the pan. Lay it down away from you. This way, if any oil splashes up and out of the pan, it'll splash away from you, giving you better odds not being burned by really hot oil. If you can, place all the chicken into the skillet. If your pan isn't large enough, do this in 2 sets. Make it hail a few fat pinches of coarse ground kosher salt. Cook the chick uncovered for about 2 minutes, then toss a lid on top of the pan. In total, we'll cook this first side for around 4 to 5 minutes, or until the chicken releases itself from the pan. When it does this, you know it's ready to flip. This is a good indication that you have achieved the perfect golden brown sear. Times may vary depending on how thick the chicken breast is. Also, if needed, turn your heat up or down. Anywho, when you've unlocked the golden sear on each piece, give it a flippy floppy. We'll cook this other side for the same amount of time, or until the internal temp of the chicken reaches 155 Fahrenheit or 68 degrees Celsius on an instant read thermometer. Once it reaches this temp, clear all the protein out of the pan. When the pan is cleared out, turn the heat to a medium-low temp. Following that, drop in the shallot or the onion, whichever you decided to use. Sprinkle it with a small pinch of coarse ground kosher salt. If needed, add a small splash of oil if there isn't enough fat in the pan. Give things a mix-up to coat it all in the salt and oil. Sauté the veg for 4 to 5 minutes or until they become a golden brown color. Now that the shallots have changed color, add the sun-dried tomatoes. Mix all the goods together. Toast the Tommy Toms for about 1 to 2 minutes or until the air becomes fragrant in smell. When that has happened, dump in half a teaspoon red pepper flake. We'll also be toasting this for about 30 seconds or until things smell spicy. Doing this will cause them to release the natural oils they hold, making them spicier. After that has occurred, add the sliced garlic and give things a mix-up. Sauté this for 30 to 40 seconds or until the air becomes delicious smelling. You'll notice that there's a ton of fond on the bottom of this skillet. We'll take care of this in the next step. All this stuff is flavor. Okay, now pour in half a cup or 118 ml of white cooking wine to deglaze the pan. If you can't use wine, go ahead and use chicken stock or some water. Watch for the steam cloud. It can and will burn you. Immediately give the skillet a shake to get all the fond to release from the bottom. Ensure it has all dissolved into the liquid. If it hasn't, scrape the bottom with a tool to get it all up. Cook the wine for about a minute or 2 until it has reduced by half. Following that, add half a cup or 118 ml chicken stock. Reduce this by about half as well. Reducing the liquids does 2 things. The first thing it'll do is give our sauce a nice thick consistency. Secondly, it'll make the flavors more concentrated and delicious. If you forgot to check the skillet and things become way too thick, just add a small bit of chicken stock to bring it back to a thinner sauce. Mine probably could have used a small splash. Keep in mind, if things are reducing too fast, simply lower the heat level so the liquids won't evaporate as fast. Alright, now that we have a nice base of reduced sauce, pour in the room temp heavy cream. Pour it in with one hand while whisking it in with the other hand. This will help ensure the cream doesn't break because it's coming into contact with a higher heat. Once the cream is in the pan, cook it over a low heat until it becomes a nice thick consistency or until it becomes nappe, which means it coats the back of a spoon and doesn't run off. When you've reached this point, add the fresh cut basil. Following that, add about half of the grated cheese. Ensure to whisk the cheese in really well so it isn't a clumpy mess in the sauce. aka whisk your face off really well. After those 2 ingredients have been mixed in, give it a taste test. Adjust the flavor profile as needed with coarse ground kosher salt. Don't go too heavy on the salt because the cheese itself will bring some saltiness as well. After it's seasoned to your liking, toss the chicken breast back into the skillet. Coat each piece in the sauce you just made. Once the chicken is in the skillet, make the final adjustments to the sauce. Mine became a little too thick, so I added a few small drops of stock. Make it to your sauce preference. If you like them thick, leave it thicker. If you want to get lost in the sauce, thin it out. There is no right or wrong way. This is just a starting point to work from. Anyways, pull the skillet off the heat source, garnish it with some torn fresh basil, and sprinkle it with more cheese, of course. Actually, go cheese first and then the basil. It looks more aesthetically pleasing that way. Or don't do either. Eat this over some pasta or a fat side of roasted veggies. Whatever you decide to do, just enjoy.
Alright, now that our chicken cutlet in the sun-dried tomato cream sauce is done, let's give it the old taste-a-roo. So looking at it, it came out super aesthetically pleasing. That sauce looks nice and thick and has good viscosity to it. Then you can see all the garlic and shallot chunks in there as well. Then there's that pop of green from our basil. Then that cheese we added on top also makes it look super delicious. The chicken itself looks nice and tasty. Overall, it just looks really good. So let's give it a shot. This thing came out really dang good. The sauce itself has a deep, rich tomato flavor to it. The sun-dried tomatoes also bring some sweetness and a little bit of acid as well. The heavy cream brings that richness and fat. The parm adds that saltiness and cheesiness and a little bit of nuttiness. We get a pop of freshness from our basil. The shallot and garlic is the best combination ever and is a good base of flavor. And garlic is just super dang tasty. We get a bit of spiciness from our toasted red pepper flakes. That caramelization that we got on the chicken also brings a ton of flavor. Texture-wise, the chicken is nice and juicy and tender and just melts in your mouth. Then you get a bit of crunchiness from our garlic and shallot. Overall, it's just really dang good because I've pretty much eaten it all. That's how good it is. This recipe makes the perfect weeknight meal, and you can make it any which way that you want. Maybe add some more herbs like thyme, oregano, and a bay leaf, or make it non-spicy and get rid of the red pepper flake. There's basically endless opportunities here. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna go hammer out the rest of these chicken breasts because I'm kind of hungry. So with that said, we'll see you on the next one. That as well from that cream, the cream. Perfect for any weeknight meal, and you can make it any which way you want. Maybe add some more herbs like oregano and thyme and some basil. Basil's already in there. This good. I feel like I had something on my neck. That from that creme de la creme.